Someone can't teach you industrial sales if they've never been in the industry.
You're gonna get tips and tricks from our sales lives that you won't get anywhere else.
What I'm trying to get us to be is the biggest industrial sales and marketing agency like in the world. We're not playing for average at all, ever. I don't want any client, if we surveyed them, to be like, yeah, it's good. Like, I want to be like, dude, they're awesome. To what? I'm just kidding. What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Mylan. Today is Thursday, so I brought in Alex here to talk about industrial sales. For those of you that are new to the content, every Tuesday I talk about industrial marketing, and twice a month on Thursday we talk about industrial sales. Apologize for the technical difficulties. If you guys aren't following me on YouTube yet, head over to YouTube, type my name in, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you want to see behind the scenes of the company, type in our company name, MFG Tribe, and you can see that channel. Please subscribe to that. We got some applauses going, so that means that people are live. Finally started the show, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Finally, it's been busy. It's been a crazy past couple weeks.
It has been. That's when you know that when we've got hats on, you know when shit is getting real. And coincidentally enough, some stuff from sales to talk about today, and the topic of being how to deal with setbacks in industrial sales pipelines. And we're not going to use the whiteboard.
It's first day of school vibes.
Yeah, it is first day of school vibes.
It's first day of school vibes.
So we're not going to use the whiteboard today. We're just going to go through it. And if you guys are in sales, I want you to put, which you all should be, I want you to put something in the comment section saying, I'm in sales. And we can shout you out for those of you that are watching it live. Even if you're watching this on replay, we see the comments and we engage with them regardless. So how to deal with setbacks in industrial sales pipelines. Let's start with, it will always happen because sales is always going to be up and down based on activity, market, some things outside of your control, some things inside of your control, vacations, all of that stuff. So how are you guys going to deal with it? Let's start with, as you guys know, we don't come with like any show notes or anything like that to go through. We kind of just riff off the top of our head. So what's the biggest setback would be? Well, you lose a deal.
Well, is that a setback though, losing the deal? I mean,
so most people see it as like their pipeline is set back because they had deals that were supposed to close that didn't.
A lost deal is never a lost deal,
right? But most people don't think like that.
Okay.
So go into that. So you're working on a deal, and the potential customer says, you know what, love what you guys did for that machine, that integration, that project, that plastics, metal, whatever it is. I love what you guys did. Love talking to you guys, but we went with your competition. We just today dealt with it, so that's what I want to bring up for Alex to kind of get into. How do you deal with that setback?
You can't take it as a lot of people will go, if you've lost your deal, quote unquote, it's never lost. Especially if they go with your competitor, because if you have a better product, you have a better service, and you have a better product or service, they're inevitably going to come back to you. They're going to realize that if it was one of the budget constraints and the reason why you lost is because the other person was cheaper, the other service provider was cheaper, the other product was cheaper, they're going to come back because you get what you pay for. And if you guys are utilizing the fact that you have a better product and you guys know that you have a better product or a better service, playing that long game, really, you can see it as a setback, but play it as a long game. Go, okay, the next time they come up that they need another machine, they need their product services, or they need their machinery service, or whatever industry that you are a part of within industrial, use that to your advantage. Go, okay, now I know that this is no longer a low-hanging fruit. This is going to be a long play. Every 2 months, check in on them. Kyle and I say it's set tasks. You guys got to keep following up, even when they say they've gone with somebody else or they've gone and they're no longer going with you. Checking back in with them, seeing if their pain points are still pain points. Because if you check back with them 3 or 4 months down the road and they're still having the same pain points, that door is still open. It has not been shut and locked. It's still an open door.
Yeah, so we have a stage in our pipeline that I feel like most industrial companies never have, but we have a stage in our pipeline called closed, lost, win back. So it's in the close loss. That deal's currently dead. But we just added a dash win back. And some of our clients, once a deal is closed loss, then it goes back into the pipeline as a past opportunity. Salespeople continue to follow up. But like Alex is saying, is like for a lot of deals, just because you lost it doesn't mean that you can't win it back. And maybe not that same deal, maybe not that same project or program or whatever it is. Maybe it's a different deal, but you can still win that relationship. So first start and say, are they a current customer for you guys in industrial? Are they a current customer? They're buying machinery from you or have bought machinery from you, or you're making parts for them every single day, or you worked on a project. Are they a current customer? And if they aren't, then you need to focus on that relationship side, right? If they are a current or previous customer, you've built some sort of trust, and maybe it was the pricing, the lead time, something about the project where they're like, hey, we went with competition. The first thing we always do is go back and say, hey, just wanted to see if you can tell me why you picked the competition over us, because we want to learn, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like humble yourself and say, look, I appreciate you telling me that you went with the competition. Ideally, you want to know who the competition was, right? But at a minimum, what was it that they did better than us so we can better ourselves? That's how we work to our clients or potential clients. And I don't know, what, 8 out of 10 times they come back with some good information?
Yeah, usually they're, especially if you're not, taking it personally. A lot of the times it was one of the things that Kyle and I had to address whenever I was first coming into this industrial sales is I'm very competitive, and so is Kyle. Kyle had to go, look, you need to not take it personally. Yes, it is a quote unquote loss, but go back, ask them the questions, ask them the follow-up, because if you actually sit there and ask them what was the reason and they give you a good reason, you can implement that, in your next pitch. Or if they give you a reason as well, it's price, and it's one of those things that, hey, I put my best foot forward. The price was the thing that got in the way. Maybe in the future, they'll realize that price, again, you get what you pay for when it comes to it. But there are so many different things that you can learn, because they could have offered a service that you don't offer, but that you could. And that could open another door for you to increase your sales, increase, the services that you guys provide, increase everything.
Yeah. So you got to start with that question of, why didn't I get this? Right. And like Alex said, don't take it personal. You should take it on the chin, and cuss and throw things if you want to, and be like, damn, I really wanted that, and get worked up, and be like, I need to know information now. Was it me? Was it what we offered? Was it what we did? Like pricing, our service? What was it that caused them to go with that? And then take that as learning behavior, because now you're going to try and win that person back. If you liked that opportunity, if you felt like they were a fit for you, which you shouldn't be just quoting stuff that's not a fit. So assuming that you like that opportunity, how are you going to win that back? So that just goes into a win back stage for us. And then from there, it's always like in the pipeline, right? Mm-hmm. We got discovery call, RFQ, quote sent, hot pipeline or hot stage, and then one loss, win back, nurture, etc. But those win backs, we just set tasks up to follow up with that person, check in on them every few months. Hey, you don't want to just be like, hey, how's it going with the competitor? And maybe if it's like machinery side, you don't follow up every few months, but you don't want to say, hey, how'd it go with that competitor? But you want to say, hey, just thinking about you, came across this thing, and you send them something of value, or send them something that you think is going to provide them with value. But you just kind of somewhat stay in touch with them. Just today, Alex got a call from somebody that we lost the opportunity to a competitor of ours that we face quite often.
I asked the questions that, that needed to be asked.
Yeah, back when we lost, Alex asked the question of like, hey, what was it? Learn some things about it, right? Learn some things that we can do a little bit differently. And randomly yesterday, the guy's like, hey, want you to do something else for us. And today on the call, Alex is like, hey, whatever happened with that thing that we didn't get? And they're like,
we ended up not moving forward with it.
Yeah, they ended up not moving forward with the competitor. And so now it's back on the table. So you never know. I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, but that happens sometimes. So you go into it like, hey, I'm going to win this guy back eventually. It could be 3 months, 12 months, 6 years down the road, you're going to win him back. But always take those losses as opportunities to either learn and grow yourself. There was a comment that Adam Schmidt put in, getting a no answer is way better. A no answer is way better than no answer.
Yeah, no answer at all.
Yeah, definitely being told this ain't going to work is better than being ghosted. Nobody likes being ghosted or left on red or left undelivered for all these kids out there that say
Well,
that.
we had another one today. I know we're using examples today, but it's been busy past couple of weeks, guys. For us, especially, it's picking. Not that we were dead, but it is getting to that point right now where I'm consistently in discovery calls. And today I had another example of someone who had quote unquote been ghosting us. I've been following up them for weeks. I mean, actually, it's been months. Yeah, I've been following up them for months. Have not answered my emails. I've left them multiple voicemails. He called me today. I left me a voicemail. Said, "Hey, give me a call." Called him. Said, "Hey, what's going on? Just shoot the shit." Excuse my language, but we're shooting the shit. I was shooting shit with him, talking about what was going on. He told us, "Hey, we're going to be moving forward in Q4 now. We're not going to, they had a time period where they were not answering us. I kept following in. They even said, we really appreciate the fact that you were following up with us. He apologized for the ghosting aspect of it, but I knew that they had a lot of decision making that they had to do. It's a big decision to move on with a marketing partner. And so I knew that they had some decision making that they had to do. So I was just consistently following up with them. And sure enough, he left me a voicemail and then sent me an email. That's how much he wanted to get in contact with me to update me on their decision. And they said, we're moving forward in Q4. So we're good to go there. But this leads into something that I wanted to touch on, the importance of pipeline diversification. If you're getting a lot of setbacks, you have a lot of these things. If you're too diversified in one specific vertical within your industry, whether it be metalworking or whatever you are, you guys have different verticals that you guys are selling to. If you have too many clients within one vertical, whether it be OEM, maybe auto, if you don't have a diversification, a lot of the time, the same issues of budget cutbacks, all this kind of stuff in the auto industry now is big. I mean, we've encountered it with a couple of our potential clients and our clients. They're heading into some budget restraints, budget cuts, this big auto industry. If you're solely focusing on one industry and your pipeline's not diversified, you're going to come across the same sort of setbacks with multiple of your clients. So you got to make sure that your pipeline's diversified, that you have a bunch of different clients in there in different verticals, so that if one vertical, for example, the auto industry starts to tank a little bit, you're not just solely relying on this specific vertical. Unfortunately, some sales guys are kind of pigeonholed in the verticals that they have, but you can still within those verticals sell. Within automotive, it might be the parts departments are getting hit hard. It might be, the OEMs, whatever it might be. Even within those specific verticals, certain areas are going to be hit harder than others. So you got to make sure you're diversifying your pipeline.
Yeah, we dealt with it, which I didn't think that we really would. I thought my days of dealing with automotive BS were over back in 09, right, when that tank happened, 08, 09. But last fall, right, we had a deal with a company that supplies a lot in the automotive space. They start doing the strikes or whatever. Yeah. And that deal was like, oh yeah, so we're not going to do it right now. We're going to push out a little bit. And that deal completely tanked. And it was a hefty deal for us. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was healthy six figures. And so that deal went away and now we're starting to pick it back up, right? Mm-hmm. But that company had to completely change their business model. They were only invested in automotive. The plan was for us to get them out of just automotive for what they do and apply it to all industrial companies. Because it was a great service and product that they made, but because they didn't jump when they had to, automotive strikes happen. They can't get in there. Their business goes down because of what they do, and so now they're like, we're basically starting over from scratch. And so it's picked back up, but it's been almost a year, right? And that deal, we chased them for a year before that year, so it's now two and a half years into it to close this deal, and it's starting to get traction again. Maybe we'll close it, maybe we won't, but like Alex is saying, diversification based on industry, even like you're saying, automotive. Maybe you're not going tier one direct to the OEMs. Maybe you're going tier two, tier three, different verticals within automotive, whether you're going after plants or interior components or whatever it is. There's so many different things in it. But having diversification in industry, diversification in company size, it's like my TSU videos, ISU videos say, whales, sharks, and fish, right? You want to go after the whales. You want to have a pipeline of going after bigger deals. But then you also got to have the medium-sized guys and the smaller guys, because those guys could turn into bigger ones with mergers and acquisitions, or just their stuff takes off. But you got to have a balance of industries you're going after and company sizes. Don't just whale hunt, because it's great when it comes, but if you put all your eggs in that basket, like this deal, it's going to be worth $12 million and it's going to boost us up. And then when that deal doesn't come through, you're sitting there with an empty bag, and then everybody's looking at you like the idiot because you got nothing left in your pipeline. So I agree. Diversification, that's definitely a step. So we can say like the economy or industry events happen, which is a setback for you. The way to avoid that, diversify. The other thing that's being brought up from what was his name? Let me go back to it. Adam said, get a no answer is better than no answer at all. Ghosting, dealing with ghosting, right? That's just part of the sales process. Is
Probably the
people
biggest
ghosting.
setback, I would say. If you're going to name anything, because you're not getting an answer, you don't know.
Yeah. So you're just like, sales, the boss comes in and is like, what's the deal with that thing? And you're like, I don't know, man. I've reached out. So the way to circumvent that would be don't, and we've said this before on our show, don't just reach out the same way, right? If you email them 3 times and they haven't responded, don't email them again, call them. If they don't answer when you call and leave a voicemail, text them. If they don't do that, go on LinkedIn and message them. Like you got to do something, or see them at a trade show.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times does that happen? We were at, what was it? 2 different trade shows, chasing Palmer's, the account they were trying to close with Palmer.
Yeah.
Like, they got a booth at a trade show. We're going to go visit them. Oh, the guy that we need to get an answer from that's been ghosting us for 3 months isn't there. Let's come back in 20 minutes. Let's come back in an hour.
Sure enough, he was there.
And then he was there, and then they had a conversation. So I tell Alex and anybody in sales, like, you can't take it personal. Like, they're not intentionally like, oh, really? Like, this person's calling me again? F you. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times
it's just that annoying.
Yeah. A lot of times they're just busy.
Yeah.
So which is crazy.
Or they don't have an answer for you.
They don't have an answer.
That's people's big thing. If I don't have an answer for you, why am I going to like?
Yeah, and that to me is like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It just say I don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Instead of like just not responding at all. But in Alex's case with that opportunity, so we pitched the company. It was a great conversation. Follow up, months of follow up, nothing. Then what happens is, if Alex can't get a response, he throws it over to me just to have a change of face, change of name, change of contact information.
That next step,
Yeah, you just go up one level, right? And so that's like the manager assistance type close, where Alex throws it over to me and says, hey, I'm getting nowhere with this person. Can you try emailing them? Sets a task for me. I email them. Sometimes it works, like it did with that one lady. And sometimes it doesn't. It's like, I want to say the name, but I can't.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
It's like, so with that one lady, it worked. With other people, it doesn't work. With when Palmer was doing this, he threw me somebody, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking text him right now. And I texted you, and he responded within like 2 minutes, and then ghosted me from there.
Yeah.
And it never went anywhere. But still, I got an answer. So you're just trying to look for that answer. I just actually did it. I'm gonna have to check now. I did it on one of his old stalled deals, and. Yeah, the guy hasn't responded back yet, but I went in there. He emailed the guy like 3 times, no response. So I just grabbed my phone, saw the guy had a cell phone, texted him and said, hey, this person was reaching out to you. Haven't heard back yet. I'm this person. Just want to check on an update, right? If you put your cell phone number in your signature, people are going to text you.
Yeah.
I think that opens the door.
And if you have a good sales manager, you have a good CEO, you have that next level of somebody that you can bring it in, that's going to be one of the ways that you're going to be able to get around, one of those setbacks. I know it's kind of like a sneaky thing to think about, but they know your phone number if you've called them, you've interacted with them. They got a new phone number that's calling them. They might have they have a higher likelihood of potentially answering it, and bringing that next level up. And I know that sales guys don't want to bring necessarily their sales manager, because then their sales manager is going to try and take the deal from them. But you got to bring it to them and go, look, I need the next step is I need a little bit of your assistance. If they're a good sales manager, they're coming in and they're going to assist you. When my sales guys bring it to me, high level of success rate. They like people, especially you guys in industrial, really like talking to someone that is that next level of getting able to speak at a higher level with some of the services and the products you have to offer. And if you have those players in place, and sometimes it doesn't even necessarily have to be your sales manager. Sometimes you can bring somebody in that can speak a little bit more specifically. And sometimes I bring my automation experts into it. Sometimes I go, hey, this is one of the big things that they had an issue with. Maybe if my automation guy reaches out to them through whatever channel that they could reach out to them through, if they send them something that they could utilize or send them some form of information, maybe this can get this deal onto the next step, because we are giving them, as we say, always give somebody something useful, something they can use, something they can learn from, something they can get, even comedic value out of, something that you're offering value with.
Yeah, exactly. If you need to have that conversation with ownership group, with management, whatever, when you first get started this, or maybe if you've never done that method before, have a conversation with them like, look, if I get ghosted, I'm tapping you in just to start that conversation again. Your manager or owner should not be like, dude, you suck, you couldn't get anywhere. They should know that's the nature of the beast. Like if Alex brings in Nancy or brings in Christian or brings in somebody else, it's just like if I get nowhere, then I'm gonna throw it back to Alex and let him try. And if he gets nowhere, then maybe we throw it to somebody else and just have them text him or call him, because you just need to figure out why are they ghosting you and what is an update on. That's all you're looking for. You can use different language. You can be like, hey, we're planning on our onboarding schedule, or hey, we're planning our production schedule, or we're planning X, Y, and Z in the next 30 days. Wanted to see if you guys are in or not, just to try and put some sort of pressure on them. Like, hey, I'm saving a spot for you. I used to do that in plastics. I'd be like, hey, we've got new programs starting, but I've blocked off this week for you guys to kick off this tool. Wanted to see if we're still viable or not, to try and like persuade them into giving me information, because it make them feel like I'm holding time for them, right?
Yeah.
And it works half the time. They'd be like, oh, actually, yes, it will work, or no, it's going to be a couple months after that. No big deal. But those ghosting setbacks, if you got a pipeline and it's like a graveyard full of bunch of ghosts, then you're not going to be in a good situation. Which then brings you to like all of these setbacks, because I don't want to make this live too long. All of these setbacks, does not matter what it is, whether it's you lost it, you don't have a diverse pipeline, people are ghosting you, all come back to the top of the funnel. If your top of your funnel is strong, it doesn't matter, right? Like I remember, I forget what the deal was, but Alex came in and he was like super pissed off about losing this big deal. And I was like, dude, don't worry about it, because what we're going to do is make it to where there's 20 of those in your pipeline, and then you're not going to give a shit if that deal, you're going to care a little bit to be like, damn, I wanted to win that. But if you've got so many of those coming in, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose some of them, right? It doesn't matter.
Nature of the beast, sales, you're always going to lose. If you're batting above 50, that's when you're doing good at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you got a 50% close rate, dude, you're doing good. So then the key is, if you know that, right? I got a 50% close rate. Well, just increase the denominator, which is the total number of deals coming in, and your close rate at the top should stay the same. The number is going to change based on how many deals you're bringing in. So if you got 100 deals in the pipeline versus 300, guess what? There's a higher likelihood that you're going to be more successful the more deals you have coming in. Now, you guys may not be able to have control over that because marketing sucks, which if your marketing team sucks and you need to reach out to us, book time to talk to Alex and he'll tell you how we can make your marketing team not suck. But it's all under your guys' control. You can't just rely on marketing to bring in deals. You got to look at the whole pipeline and do what you need to do to bring them in. So let's talk about that for a minute. Top of funnel pipeline, like I'm sure you could speak to it, which a lot of people watching this would have similar feelings. Like, what's it like when, talk to me about the flip side of not a lot coming in, and then when it's like fire hose coming in, like what's the feelings that you have when that's going on?
It's the ones that get me through. I will tell you, right now we're going through, it's like a fire hydrant has been turned on, and we have so many incoming clients. We have so many new clients that we've signed. We're growing, we're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing, but it pushes me through, because I do know, like right now I have meetings. If you looked at my calendar, I don't have time to even have lunch most days, because I have discovery calls, I have new client kickoff calls, I have follow-up calls that I'm doing with potential clients. We have clients that are coming in to visit us over these next couple of weeks, to come in and meet the team, to see the team that's going to be attached to their project. When you have that funnel, you need to make sure that you are also not getting overwhelmed. When I say overwhelmed, you need to go, okay, hey, I got to go back to the basics. At this point, I need to make sure that my notes are in the CRM system, which is something that I need to do for this week. But making sure that my notes are in the CRM system, making sure that my follow-up tasks are in the right place, because it really fuels you. I could sit there, if I had a full pipeline, I'm pretty sure every one of you out there is the same way. If I had a full pipeline like this, 365 days out of the year, and we all know it's not ever going to be like that. There's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs. But if I had a pipeline like this 365 days of the year, I wouldn't need coffee in the morning. It makes you feel so good when you come in. You're like, I have all these clients that I can assist with my product or service that I'm having to offer. It really makes you, the confidence boost that it gets, and it's not necessarily because you necessarily are the greatest sales guy ever. A lot of sales guys get big heads. If you're doing the necessities, if you're doing the notes, if you're doing the follow-up, if you're doing all of that, it will all come to you. I promise you, if you follow what we tell you to do with your sales pipeline, with your marketing needs, with all of this, I promise you, no matter what, even in the smallest of niches, if you do what we tell you to do, I promise you, your pipeline throughout the year will feel like a fire hydrant has been turned on, because you will have these clients coming in and you will have consistent deals. And even with those dead periods, if you look at 5 years worth of doing deals, May to July seems to be, industrial too seems to be the dead time. If you're having a full pipeline in November, guess what? When that June, July times comes around, that's dead. The people that you have been interacting with November, October, September, August time are all going to come back around, where your pipeline, when it's not usually full, is still going to be full. It's such a great feeling, and it makes you, as a sales guy, I could just keep selling all day. You could keep stacking meetings on me if I have this kind of pipeline, because it really, that's what sales guys are there to do. That's what you join sales, is to assist people, to help people solve a problem, to help people have a service or product that they are in need of.
Yeah, and that's where the thing, like Alex saying, he's got to go back and update CRM stuff. That's the thing to not lose focus. It's like when you get busy, you got to stick with those like core things you have to do, because in a week, he's not going to remember the exact conversation of the dude that he talked to. If that dude doesn't communicate with him until then, he's going to be like, oh shoot, what was that like? Let's say the meeting wasn't recorded, and let's say that there was no AI generating summary, and let's say that his notes, he only took a couple notes because he was talking the whole time. He's not going to remember what his next steps are unless he does that when it happens.
Which you shouldn't be doing, talking the whole time. If you're talking the whole time as a sales guy.
Yeah. But let's say that they wanted to pitch. Let's say that they said, you know what, just pitch me what you guys do. And we hate those conversations. Yeah. Sometimes you have to do them. You pitch them, they said, all right, cool. Well, based on that, I want this, and that. You're like, okay, cool. We'll get that quote over to you. And then you get busy in between. You're like, shoot, what was that? Putting those core fundamental things in, like, all right, what are my next steps? I have to do these things. Here's the notes from it, so you don't forget. Because as you get busier and busier, it's like stuff's going to fall off. It's if it's not your direct focus, you're going to forget about it. You guys with trade shows, right? You go to a trade show, you get 100 leads. From those 100 leads, maybe you get 20 good qualified leads that convert into an actual opportunity. Out of those 20 qualified converted opportunities, maybe 2 of them close in the first few months. Those other 18, they're still viable, but if you're not working them, you're going to forget about it. If you don't have a system like HubSpot or something similar, you're going to definitely forget about them, because you're going to have no organization. And then you're when your pipeline is low, you're going to be like, somebody's going to be like, oh, what about those leads from that trade show? And you're like, oh shit, I haven't talked to them in 6 months, right? So you got to keep it organized and say, like, my pipeline, unless I'm busy all hours of all days, it's not big enough. And when it is that big, then you hire more people, right? And
yeah.
Say, you handle these deals, I got these deals, and let's go get more deals.
And don't forget those little guys, as Kyle had mentioned. You have your whales, you have your sharks, and you have your fish. Just because, you've got 3 big whales coming in your pipeline, don't forget about those 10 little fish, because guess what? Those 5 of those fish can lead to 1 big whale, and they could be the ones that are going to turn around and sign faster. Don't sit there and focus on, as he said at the beginning, on those whales solely, because those little fish have the tendency, as soon as they start adding up, guess what? 4 or 5. We've signed 6 new clients in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, and some of those are little, some of those are whales. You can't lose focus of the little fish, because the fish turn into sharks and the sharks turn into whales.
Yeah. And really from our standpoint, like with you guys, it may be a little bit different depending on what you guys are selling. But from our standpoint, what we're trying to do is just help as many people as possible, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's for a brochure or whether it's for their entire marketing program, we're just trying to produce quality content and help industrial companies from an industrial agency that knows the space to be successful. And if somebody comes in and says, hey, all I need you to do is make me this one thing, cool, we'll make that. And when you need more, we'll be here to do it. Now, hopefully we can get something going, but if not, no big deal. But you got to go into it like, look, I'm trying to help people, and I'll do it at any capacity. Like, people reach out to us and say, hey, can we just do a free call? And we're like, yeah, we'll do a strategy for you. Yeah. Like, you want us to go through and audit your stuff and provide you with strategy, that's fine. I have no issue doing that. Other companies will charge $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to do an audit and strategy. We just see it as like, we have the tools and resources to do it. We don't need to be paid for it to help somebody out. If it turns into something great, if not, no big deal. At least we did it.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And it also gives you that opportunity. It opens that door a little bit. If you guys have a service, you know, that you're offering, even if it's a product, and you know, they're like, hey, how does this benefit me? Can you send me, you know, a white paper or something like that? With the service, you guys have a little bit more of a leeway to kind of do that. Hey, let me take a look at it. We have one of our clients that we just signed that services, you know, certain machinery. And one of their big thing is that their big selling point is, hey, send us your machinery. We'll do a free, you know, inspection on it. We'll pay for the shipping. We'll come get it. We'll pay for the shipping. We'll pay for all that. We'll do a diagnostics on it, see what's wrong with it, and then we're going to send it back to you. If you don't want us to do, we'll give you a quote. And if you don't want us to do it, we'll send it back to you, no charge. But guess what? I talked to them, and 99% of the time, they've got the machinery, they've got the quote, they go fix it. If you offer them something that you are going to, again, something they can learn from, something they can utilize, something that they can get more information out of, you're going to earn that respect, you're going to earn that trust, and you're going to build that relationship.
There you go. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and come back and go through the comments and questions. Check out this video that our team made.
This is what we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
All right, guys, we're back. Hopefully you like that hype video. And what was the hype video for, Lara? FabTech 2024. If you guys want a DJI Mini 4K drone, this thing is dope. Pretty much fits in your pocket. If you want to win one of those, come to FabTech in Orlando.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you can wrestle Alex for it. And if you don't win that one, maybe you can win. Oh, this one. Look how small that is. Like, that's tiny. That's like a pocket drone, dude.
Oh my
Check it
God,
out.
look how small that is. Look at that, guys.
Look at that. If you don't win this one, you can win that one at Beckwood Press's
Boom.
booth at FabTech.
Look at that slick little thing.
That
there.
thing is sick.
Yes.
So all you got to do is come to the booth, come to our booth at FabTech, and do we figure out the rules behind it? There are rules. What are the rules, Lara?
You have to be above the.
The rules are you have to you have to film a video. We're at FabTech. We're going to have a space dedicated with cameras for you to film a promotional video for yourself. And the video team is going to edit it at the show that day, post it to you or send it to you for you to take it, put it on social media. You have to tag us, the company, on social media. That enters your name in the drawing raffle plus your business card to win this thing, and then we're going to raffle it off on one of the days, either Tuesday, probably Thursday, day 3, probably Thursday. We're going to pick a random name of who's done those things.
We'll do it in the morning because everybody leaves on Thursday. So
Yeah, there you go.
Flight leaving on Thursday.
Yeah.
And you want this, you better be there on
And
Thursday.
if you need
morning.
to, we'll mail it to you.
Yeah.
It's going to be cheap.
We'll fly it to you.
Yeah, there you go. We'll fly it to you. And if you're like, I don't want a drone, then you're weird because who doesn't want a drone? But let's just say you're like, I don't know if I can win the drone, and you want a bottle of whiskey, we got that too. If you want some dope MFG Tribe swag, like this hat I'm rocking right now, we're going to have these at the show as well as some black ones. So tons of cool stuff we're giving out at FabTech. You guys need to check us out. That's my plug. Laura, we got any comments or questions before we wrap up this live?
We have a couple comments. I was just gonna type our booth number in the comments and
Do it. Our booth number is S.
you know it?
No, no, I don't. Our booth number is, we're in the north-south building, not the west hall, the south one, metal fabrication, metal forming. On the right-hand side in the metal forming section over by the PMA booth, kind of, we got a 10 by 20 booth. We're going big. We're going to have 13, 14 people from this company are going to be there, walking the show, working the booth in different phases.
You'll see me walking around the show.
You'll see Alex walking around. You come meet the team, come meet the brains behind all of this beauty.
We're the beauty. They're the
Yeah,
brains.
exactly. But yeah, you get to come meet the team.
Yeah, we're excited. I can't wait to go out there in FabTech. Make sure you guys, if you guys are attending FabTech, make sure you guys are utilizing that LinkedIn, those LinkedIn posts. Make sure that you're, advertising that you guys will be exhibiting at FabTech, because that's going to be something important. Those people that are walking around, those exhibitors could potentially be your clients. The ones walking could potentially be your clients. Anything. Make sure that you guys are just out there letting people know where you're going to be, because anybody that's at FabTech, is within our industry for the most part. I know certain people, don't necessarily exhibit there, but everybody within there is within the industry.
Yeah, and it's a fun time.
And it's a great time.
And we got
Lenore knew it. It's booth S31069.
There you go, 31069, and Laura put it on the
Boom.
screen. All right, questions and comments while I finish my
Let's
notes.
see. One just rolled through from Mindy. Kyle, love your content and follow a lot of strategies
Via
in our
Indigos.
business via Indigos. Will we
Oh,
help
Mindy.
business manufacture parts from India? Thanks for your help.
All right, Mandeep, love you, brother.
I saw a question from Tim.
Yeah.
Tim Drinkwater.
Tim Drinkwater says, how do you assess and prioritize leads?
That's a good question. So it depends on what is most important to you. So assess them would be, you got to ask the right questions, right? So you got to do the fact finding. Is this a good potential fit for you? And then prioritize it is going to be based on, most likely for your case, Tim, I would say based on just when are they making their decision and when do they need parts, right? So if you say, hey, thanks for reaching out, want to learn more about you, tell me more about the project. What are you guys looking for me to manufacture for you or to machine for you? How much you guys spend in machining typically a year? How many vendors do you have, et cetera? Go into questions like that and be like, all right, when are you guys looking to make a decision on who the supplier is for this? Or when do you need parts delivered to your dock by? I would start there and then put that information in. Then it should be prioritized from that. But in your case, you should be able to try and turn and burn those quotes pretty quick. So like get the 3D part files, the prints, whatever you need to do, figure out pricing, send it off. I know that you're building your team and blowing it up, so you might not have the resources where you're just like doing everything from the front of the store to the back of it. But if you're having to do all the quoting and sales yourself when these things come in, while you're also running the shop and being the CEO, try and turn them around as fast as possible. That's what I would prioritize, is based on when do they need the stuff, and also like how big of a deal is it? What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, for you especially that way. I mean, when I'm assessing and looking into our, potential clients that we have, I'm doing those questions, asking, the fact-finding questions, as Kyle mentioned, and ranking them in my head. Okay, hey, look, it seems as if this is a problem that they need to fix quickly. If it's something that needs to fix quickly, I'm obviously going to put them in our hot pipeline. I'm going to assess them. I'm going to go, hey, these guys are hot. These guys are going to be someone that's going to turn around really quickly. And due to the fact of X, Y, and Z, I know that they have website issues. That I'm using our, service as an example. They might have website issues. Their SEO is tanking. They have no content. They need video for, a trade show that's coming up. You can really, if you ask enough questions, you can really get to know how, A, fast that they're trying to move, B, how much they're trying to spend, and see whether they're going to be, again, moving quickly, or it's going to be something that they're looking for in the future. Because when you get at least some sort of time structure of like, hey, this is how we're moving, you can plan your next steps accordingly, and you're not going blindly and following up. You go, hey, this is the next step in 2 months that we're going to come by. We're going to get a budget approved in 2 months. Then we're going to come by and audit and make sure that, if you're a machinery seller, this is the machinery, this is the amount of money that we have. You're going to understand that. You're going to be able to really have your next step set up for you easier. More easily.
There you go. More easily. What else you got, Laura?
No questions.
Throw some comments up there. I know you threw some up when I was responding to them.
video team killing the promos.
Dang.
Sweet video.
Who said that? One of our employees?
Lenore
Lenore giving
And Tim.
and Tim. Tim always gives us props. Tim is awesome. And Tim, I hope that I get to see you at IMTS. I know you said you were planning on going there Thursday. Shelly and I are probably gonna be leaving Thursday around, I think like 11 o'clock in the morning. So, and I'm busy the first part of Thursday. So hopefully you get there Tuesday or Wednesday. All right, is that it?
Yeah, we just got some comments from Adam Schmidt, basically saying like agreeing with what you guys are saying. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, which can be difficult as you start feeling confident with your basket of eggs.
Yeah, exactly. You start to feel confident with that basket of eggs, and then you trip, and all them eggs get broken, and then you're left with a bunch of bullshit.
bunch of runny eggs.
Yeah, a bunch of
Get it, runny?
yeah.
He
Them
also-
eggs be running away.
He also said those little fish teach you how to fish better.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I
gotta
like
learn
that.
from the little deals. I will say, one of the biggest clients we've signed, over 100 billion a year client. I had dealt with a smaller client that kind of walked us through the same process that they were going through in approvals for their third-party marketing team. And it really set it up, because when they were asking these, I was like, oh, I've dealt with that before. I can definitely do that. I've seen this kind of, they're asking for ROMs, they're asking for this, they're asking for a bunch of different things that most clients don't ask for because they're not a huge company. So those big whales might have some more specific things that they're really looking into and things that you have to check off the check boxes. And if you start dealing with, some of the smaller whales, then when the big whale comes around, you're gonna be like, yep, seen this before, done this before, here it is. And then you look even more of an expert.
Exactly. What else you got? Oh, we're gonna be out.
Tim said he might make it Wednesday.
Let's go, Tim. Let's do it Wednesday.
Adam also said it's difficult to play from the tips when you're establishing your game, and he says just a little golfer.
Oh, we're well familiar with that, Adam. We got a couple of golfers over here, and we only mess with them tips. Not all the time. Sometimes when we're playing in association
yeah, we
things,
can't.
they're
We
like,
can't.
no, you got to play from the men's
Gotta play
amateur, from the whites
amateurs.
or the blues.
Yeah, it's not even the members' tee. It's the,
Yeah,
I don't want to say the older gentlemen's tees, but the older gentlemen's tees.
yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Hopefully you got value out of this. It was a fun conversation about setbacks in industrial sales. If you did, go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. Be sure to follow Alex and I on LinkedIn. We post content every single week. If you guys are going to IMTS, let me know. If you're going to FabTech, you need to stop by the booth and get your chance to win one of these mini drones that is just like ridiculously high quality, 4K shooting capabilities. And we will see you on the next one.
Have a good one, guys.